feel like it's just going to be us talking to each other the whole time.
You really do? Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
We haven't been live in a while?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Do you think they can hear us?
I don't know.
Seems
Maybe
very
people can
quiet.
hear us.
Just waiting for people to get in here.
It looks different, huh?
It does.
Why does it look so different?
I don't know. Oh, we have 2 likes. I can't see who's here though.
I have no idea who's here. Right
Oh
now.
no, there's nobody here yet.
How do we have likes?
No,
What
it's
is the
two
rose
little
that we keep
hearts
seeing?
up there. Are there roses? There's no roses. I wonder if they'd be able to hear us.
What does that mean?
Oh, it's 0 out of 5 roses.
Oh.
Hi, Jenny Jenny with First
Jenny
Source
with First
Title,
Source.
Florida. You are our first
What up?
guest.
Welcome. Oh,
Hello,
wow. We got work to
Jess
do.
Kara joined. Thank you, Jess. You're our second viewer.
Uh-oh.
Thank you for coming. We don't know if anyone's going to join us today.
Yeah.
Solo Tribe, Angela, welcome. Jay.
It's been a little while
Cherub.
since we've been on, so.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear us? Can you give us a thumbs up if you can hear us? We're a little far away from the phone, so we want to make sure that you can hear us. Hi, Heather. Hi, Kim. Hi, Natalie. Hi, Daniel. Steve. There's some men in the house.
Hey, nice. What's up?
Which I'm happy
Daniel.
to hear. Scott. Okay,
Steve. All
men,
right.
stay in here because we always have a lot of amazing women here, but we definitely want the men because we want to get your perspective. We want to have an open dialogue. So thank you for being here.
Can you guys hear us? Okay?
Yeah, can you hear us? Please thumbs up if you can hear us. The phone has
Or
been...
somebody text and say that you
Yeah,
can hear us.
just let us know because we're a little far away from the... Maybe that shakes that.
Sorry, I always do
It's
that.
okay, you do. We're a little far
bad
away
with
from the
that.
microphones. Well, let us know if you can't hear us. Hello, Shelly, Gabriella, Tina, Michelle, Kelly, Speedy, Mima, Jason, Terry, Steve. Thank you
Some
so
guys
much.
in here, nice.
Thanks for joining us. We definitely can't hear you. Okay,
You
can't hear.
can't hear us.
Let's try to move up a little closer then. Yeah, okay. Is this better? Can you hear us now? We'll move up closer. Let us know if you can hear us now. Dave, can you hear us now? How is it sounding?
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Hear us?
Yes or no? We've never had this problem where people can't hear us. So
I know, it's kinda weird.
I don't even quite know how to fix this problem. Hi, Jackie.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. So, who has a relationship question? Because...
Dave still says can't hear us.
No, I think that's the first one.
Was it?
What do you want to know? Okay, well, I guess we want to know if you have any relationship issues. You're coming in loud and clear. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you
it.
so much. Thank you, Roseberry Love. You are so sweet. So, okay, here's my question. Does he have a boyfriend? No.
Well, why would I have a boyfriend?
I am his fiance.
I have an amazing...
So let's hope he
beautiful
doesn't
boyfriend.
have a boyfriend. Hi from Portugal. Hello, Carla. Thanks for joining. Okay, so we are relationship people. We like to talk about relationships. We are not gurus. We are not therapists. However, we like to talk about being in a relationship, the divine masculine, the divine feminine, and divine union. So if any of those things resonate with you, if you are a woman out here and you just can't quite figure out why men do what they do, or vice versa, if you are a man wondering why women do what women do, or you're wondering why your woman and you're a female does what she does, welcome. Everyone's welcome with relationship questions. So
Yeah, we don't claim to be experts by any means,
No.
but we have done a lot of work individually and done a lot of growing, and both have come out of two very long marriages, 20 years plus.
Yes.
And before we became into this wonderful, beautiful union that we have now with each other, but it took a lot of self-growth and it took a lot of self-evaluation and such, and so. Because of that work that we've done, and it allowed us to be open to this wonderful soulmate relationship that we have today. So
Yeah.
if you have any questions related to that, we're happy to answer that on how to better heal yourself so that you are available and ready to show up.
Right. Somebody asked if we're monogamous or non-monogamous.
We are monogamous, yeah, for sure.
We are monogamous.
I don't know why we keep getting that question, because I think we got that.
I know, we got that on the last one. Todd says, I was married 31 years today. Well, is this a happy thing that we're celebrating? Is this an anniversary, or is this like a loss? Because our condolences if it's the latter, or maybe you're happy that your marriage is over. I think for us, we're the first ones to say that. Thank you, Emily.
Appreciate that.
We're the first ones to say that divorce is extremely hard and disillusionment of a marriage is extremely hard. But I think what's harder is being in a long-term relationship where you're unhappy and where you're unfulfilled. So I would say that, I don't know, like condolences, but it'll get better if you're.
I think
if it's a loss.
Todd, if you don't mind sharing a little bit, we'd love to hear a little bit more about your story in relationship to if it's a continuing on story, if you unfortunately lost a spouse, or if.
No, he said up here.
Did he say?
Nope. Hope it's not 32. Hopefully final very soon. So I'm assuming it's.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't see that portion of it.
Yeah.
Like for us, we were both in a very long-term marriage and everything that we put a lot of effort into and tried to do everything we could to make those relationships work. But at the end of the day, what we both realized is that wasn't our person. And what you'll come to find yourself after some time apart and some healing is that that's okay. It's okay that they weren't your person, because now you can be free to call in the right person for you, to find your soulmate, and to allow them to be free as well. This isn't just a healing process for you, but it's for the person that you were in that relationship to heal, and for them to find happiness within as well.
Right, exactly. So Cassie says, what do you do here? We like to talk about relationships. We like to talk about healing that leads to divine relationships, that leads to really healthy relationships, Cassie. And then Carla says, me and my husband, we've been married since 1998, and we are still married, 2 boys.
Well, that's awesome, Carla. It's good to hear that. We're not here to talk about that you shouldn't be in a long-term marriage, because if it works for you and it's a positive one and that you are truly happy within that union, then kudos to you, and that's awesome.
Cassie, I think we've talked about you being with a Gemini, because I'm a Gemini as well. I think we talked about this on the last live. Ron, blessed with my wife since I was 18 and now I'm 61. Okay, so Ron,
tell us your secret.
Tell us about this, because we always joke that we finally found each other in our middle age, and I'm like, I don't know what you believe in as far as to get, really philosophical, what you believe in, what happens after we die. But I'm always like, in my next life, I better get to meet you when I'm in high school. I want to meet you young, and then I want to just be married to you for 40 years, because I feel like I got cheated out of a lifetime with this man. So we always joke about that.
We do. We're not willing to wait the amount of years that it took for us to come back together, as we like to think.
It's so fun to be married to him. I mean, we're not married yet. We're getting married in a month, but I feel married to him. And it's such a difference when you're with somebody that is truly your best friend, that knows every aspect of you. Like, it is so fun to be with him. It is so fun to just hang out with him. Like, the only hard parts we have in our marriage, although we're not married yet, but we will be in a month. Thank you, Bree. The only thing that's hard now in our marriage is basically like the old triggers from the past relationship showing up and triggering us and making us act out of pocket. But like, for the most part, it's so easy, right?
Yeah, I mean, she's absolutely right. What we have determined through our relationship, the only time that we ever have had any difficulties, and they're very minimal, the positive thing that we have in our relationship is we both communicate. We are constantly talking. We're always working through things, not because we're having issues, but because we want to understand each other better, and we want to understand each other's side of it. Right. So the times that things have come up where it'll be like, oh, that triggers me when you do that, or is something you've said or something you've shown. Right. And then what we both realize after we've talked about it, communicated about it, and analyzed it, really it has nothing to do with one another. It has everything to do with our past and past traumas and how those affected us and the damage that those did, and realizing, we've done a lot of wonderful growth individually, but we're still growing together too, to learn more about each other and stuff. But all it's done for us has made us extremely closer. And every little hiccup that we've had, we've grown so much more from it, and it just becomes stronger. So communication is key.
Yes. So we're going to go back and read these. Okay, so... Oh, somebody's engaged on our thread.
Uh-oh.
I think when you are married for a long time, it becomes something that's hard to end. That is so true.
Very truthful. Yeah, we tend to, are habit creatures, right? We tend to stay in things because it's comfortable. Even if it's not good, it's still comfortable. And so we're afraid of change. We're afraid of branching out and being alone.
Yeah.
But the key to it is you have to get comfortable with who you are and be authentic and be okay with being alone so that you can heal and then be ready for that amazing person to come into your life.
And there's actually a phrase for people that stay in something because they've already worked and toiled and put so much work into it that they don't want to leave because they feel like it's a waste.
Right.
I feel like so many people stay in marriages for that term, whatever it is. I don't know what it is. If anyone knows, please respond. But that's actually a thing. That it's a phenomenon. Let's see. Todd says, I was married to a narcissist, experienced love bombing and long periods of isolation. I'm sorry, Todd, that being married to a narcissist not only breaks your heart, it destroys your soul for a little while. And it takes a lot of work to get it back. So it's hard, it's rough.
Yeah, stay the course, stay the course in what we were just talking about self-love. Find ways to be happy with yourself and within you and heal from the damages that you've encountered throughout that relationship. But it also, you have to look at yourself in that relationship as well. Because although that your partner hurt you through it and was a narcissist, there's always things that we can do to improve ourselves so that we may be ready for a better relationship in the future.
Yeah, I know when I was with a narcissist in a past relationship, it wasn't my fault that I was victimized by a narcissist. However, how I could empower myself and stop being a victim is look at ways that I tolerated poor behavior and I ignored red flags. What were the things in me that I could heal and tend to so that I no longer brought in toxicity? And that is a way that we can empower ourselves as victims of narcissistic abuse. It's not okay what happened to you, and it's not okay what they did to you, but you can still learn and grow and be empowered from it. Cassie says, I have a ring and almost the white picket fence with children. I am almost married. Yay, Cassie, what's your date? What's your date? Let us know. When are you getting married? I want all the details. Congratulations, Jim, for 29 years of marriage, going on 30 years next year in February.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
29 and going on 31?
Jim.
Oh, 30.
Yeah, going on 30 years. Margaret says she was married for 58 years.
Wow. That's impressive.
Margaret, are you still married? Because you used the plural of married.
Right.
So are we still married? Please respond. I met my soulmate at 25. Oh, Cassie, I want to hear about your soulmate. It took me a quarter of my life to find my soulmate. Do you feel like you went out seeking a soulmate, or do you feel like it was a chance meeting?
And we're willing to entertain someone joining us with the live too, if it's
if you want to jump on.
If you want to jump on, Cassie.
How long have you been together, Tina? Well, we get this question a lot, and I feel like we're a little bit apprehensive to share because it has been very fast. We knew that we were each other's person on the very first date. I'm not saying everybody's going to have that experience, but that was ours. So we have not been together very long if you really look at how quickly things have moved and our goals and dreams, but it seems like we've been together for like decades.
Yeah, she's very correct in what she's saying in relationship to, we knew right away. So for us, it was an immediate energy and vibe that was undescribable. And so it was easy for us. We had done the work individually to be ready for this type of relationship, and we're older. In the sense of what I mean by that is we know what we want, we know what we need in a relationship, and we know that there's no reason to waste time on trying to get to know each other in a sense, right? Like traditional dating.
We feel like we've known each other forever.
Forever. We truly feel like we've been in past lives together, and that we're just coming back together and such. And so, it has been probably a shorter time frame than maybe certain relationships would be, but not a super short time either in that sense.
Yeah.
But it's been very purposeful driven.
Yeah.
You know, everything we've done has been, to us, the right timing for our relationship.
Very intentional, very careful about everything that we've done.
How we've approached it, how we've done everything, and how we've progressed.
Yeah.
And we know without a doubt that we're each other's forever. So there's no
we're like, why wait?
Yeah.
Congratulations, Sun and the Fun and SD. I'm getting married next month in Vegas. Congrats. I love it. Thank you, Carla. I don't know who that is. That is what we get. Communication is a practice. Yes, we were just talking about communication. Are you talking about open relationships? No, Donovan, we are not.
We do not talk about that. No.
I think we had a past life together. Yes, Cassie. See, and that's the
Welcome
thing.
to the group.
Yes, it's like when you get off of the apps, that is such a huge like deal to get off the apps, to not have to deal anymore with dusties, with weeding through people that aren't serious. There are so many people on there that are literally on apps just for attention and to like have their ego stroked.
Oh, Neil, good question.
Yeah, do you want to read that?
Yeah, as I said, can bring it back down, sorry. Do you believe in manifesting your dream, your partner, and are you both each other's dream partners? Yes, 100%. We both believe in manifesting that, and that's what we mean by doing your work and being ready to call in the person of your dreams. By far, she's the woman of my dreams. She's everything that I would ask for if I was putting together a woman. She's it. And I'm not just talking about her looks. I'm talking about her brain, her creativeness, everything about her from head to toe, inside and out. She's the sweetest, most kind person that you'll ever meet. And she's also the most loving and supportive person. So yes, definitely my dream person.
Yes. So I think that when you're ready to meet your dream person, it's because you have done work. It's because you have gotten in touch with yourself, and because you know yourself so well on such a deep level, and you've loved and tended to yourself, you then attract a partner that knows you on that same depth, that knows himself or themselves on that same depth, and can then love you in the ways that you love yourself. So Cassie says, I have done my shadow work too.
Good job.
And also, he is a great man. I need a strong mind to be with me too. He is everything I need. We had 2 or 3 to choose from, and I believe fate brought us together. Oh, I love that so much.
I mean, that tells you exactly. You're like on the same wavelength and pattern as we are in our relationship. But it's because you did your shadow work. It's because you looked at yourself, and you can be your authentic self within that relationship. Awesome.
Thanks, Steph, for liking the live. Can you guys like and promote this live? Can you share this live with people? We would so appreciate it. TikTok has been really weird. I've talked to a lot of creators that the algorithm's changed. It's in the way it's boosting things. It's been so odd. So we would really appreciate you liking and sharing this live. Thank you so much. There was a question back here, babe.
Did we?
Kellyanne, you want to read that one?
It says, I want to end my relationship and I just can't do it, but
no, he is not the right person for me.
Okay, so I guess, Kelly, you don't have to share 100% of your reasoning behind why, but I think you have to take a look at the most important key to it. That is your individual happiness. If you're not happy, the relationship can't be successful. I don't know if you have children or what may be holding you back from that, that's keeping you in that relationship, but it is not going to be able to sustain no matter what you do if you're not happy within that. So my suggestion is to take a look at what it is that's creating that for you. And you got to be brave. Sometimes you have to get out of a relationship in order to find yourself once again and be happy. And it's okay. It's okay to put yourself first. Care about yourself.
I would say to Kellyanne, that was good advice, baby.
Well, thanks.
I would say to Kellyanne, I know exactly where you're coming from because I did the same thing in a bad relationship before I met him. I had such a trauma bond to this person. He had created a trauma bond with his intermittent reinforcement, which is love bombing and then withdrawing love, and then love bombing and withdrawing love. And when somebody does that to you, it quite literally creates a biological addiction to that person. So even though they're bad for you and even though they're hurting you, you are addicted and you can't pull yourself out of it. And I remember making that cognitive observation of my own life, because I'm an intellectual person and I started learning about narcissism and intermittent reinforcement, etc., while I was with him. And I recognized that it was happening to me. And that's the very first part of the battle, is recognizing and putting a name to what's happening to you. And there is so much information on this app. Whatever you're going through, if he is ignoring you, if he is withholding affection, if whatever that your problems are, maybe he's not being overtly abusive, but you're just having communication issues, or he's shutting down when you're trying to talk to him, etc. Learn about it on this app. Put it in your search bar and you will learn terms for it. So when a partner ignores you, he's stonewalling you. When a partner shuts down on you when you have conflict, that's called avoidant attachment. Start learning about what's happening to you while you're with that person. And then it takes the power away from them when they're employing those things or when you're facing those problems in the relationship. And you'll start to see it now. You'll start to observe it as it's happening. That gives you the strength slowly over time to want to extricate yourself from it, because you see cognitively what is happening.
Right. And I think that it's important to look at what is it that's causing him to do that. Has he been that way the entire relationship? Has something changed within your relationship that you're seeing different behavior in him that's causing this? Have you communicated that with him? Have you let him know exactly what it is that you need from him?
Right.
Men are black and white. Men are very need direction at times. I'm not saying it's right, and I'm not saying that.
You always say that, and
I
it
do.
Literally drives me crazy.
I know it does.
I'm like, what do you mean they're black and white?
She absolutely hates when I say that, because women are thinkers.
Isn't it nuanced the way that we look at it? Like everything has another meaning behind it.
But men very much are sometimes need to be hit over the head, and just, hey, tell me what you want. What do you need me to do? And stuff. It doesn't mean their behavior is going to change, but maybe it'll help you kind of get an insight on what it is that's causing their behavior. And then hopefully because of that behavior, they'll change, right?
But she's saying that she already knows he's not the one for her.
Well, if you truly know that he's not the one for you, then you have to be strong and you got to get out of that. You just need to make that leap. Start setting up ways to take care of yourself.
Well, that's the key. It's in addition to learning about what's happening to you in the relationship, start pouring into yourself. Right. If you can't leave him yet because of intermittent reinforcement and the like, then you need to start pouring back into yourself simultaneously while you're in the relationship. Start strengthening yourself. That will give you the courage to eventually leave while you're with him.
Right.
Let's see. We have more questions.
I think as we're looking for the questions, I kind of want to go a little bit into what you and I were talking about.
Okay.
The other day, and that's a relationship to, and we still have men on here. This is kind of directed towards men. Is what I've noticed on my own page. If you go to at the Daddy University is my own. TikTok page. We talk together.
The Daddy University.
And if you follow me, I do a lot of quotes and such and stuff that are there to help men and to help men coach and become better and to learn and to maybe better recognize women and understand them as well. So what I am seeing a little bit of a trend in the most recent is more men following me, more men liking my quotes. In the past, and still, I have probably 95% women followers, but in the recent time period, there's been more and more men coming. And I think what that is women are done. That's where they're at. I truly feel like women are elevating, leveling up, and they're done with the man that is at a baseline. So they no longer want the guy who is not willing to level themselves up and to recognize the woman's worth. And so if you're not willing to put in the time in to grow, to meet her at her level, to encourage her, to support her, then they're gone. They're done. And it's like, peace out, and you're being left behind. And so, like I said, what I'm recognizing on my own page is I think men are starting to understand that and see that. And that's why they're starting to like my advice and like the things that I have to say, but they're seeking out, how do I become that? Well, the way you become that is look within. You have to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. You have to be okay with your authentic self. You have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to accept failure at times. You have to be willing to accept that she only wants you for you. She doesn't need you to be more than your authentic self. She just wants you to show up for her. She wants you to provide the safety and protection that she's always needed. But
are men so, sorry to interrupt, but are men so scared of failure because they always have to shoot their shot traditionally in our culture, and they're used to rejection? They've been rejected many times and it's hurt them. Like, I can't imagine being a man and always having to make the first move with women, and like, or men, if you're masculine and you're trying to approach men, and I don't know, if you're masculine and you're trying to approach the feminine and you're constantly getting burned or constantly getting rejected, do you just get to a point where you're like, I can't fail? Or is it the pressure society puts on men to like do at the most?
Yeah, Brock, I like your question as well, and we'll get to that in a moment.
I think it kind of coincides with Brock's question.
It does. Well, Brock's question, we'll go into that, and I'll answer yours as well. And it says, any advice for a young, single 25-year-old who is struggling to meet friends and date? So in relationship to your question, and I'll answer that, is yes, it's society pressure, right? It's what time after time of decades of what a man is supposed to be. And, you know, I talk about like the ancestral version of that, right? Like my great grandpa was this, and my grandpa was, and then my dad was, and so I am. And so it's that continuous pressure of society of a man is this, a man should be that, a man should be a provider, a man should be the one to step up and do other things. So there's a lot of pressure on him to maintain that. So within that, he's scared of failing. He's scared of not being enough, not being a good enough man for her. So he will shy away from it and such. And in a relationship, he'll actually step away from it instead of doing the work to keep her. And then he ends up staying in that same pattern for a long time. So in relationship to Brock...
we love your question, Brock, because I have a 22-year-old son, and I totally feel your pain with being on social media. I feel like has isolated a lot of men. They did a study that a huge percentage of men, like 40% of men in your demographic, are not having sex. They're not having intimacy. They're not having physical touch. And so they're very isolated, and I just feel so bad for the young men, because it seems like this is the generation that wants to make a shift from that generational pattern that you're talking about of men not expressing their emotions, men being amputated from their emotions, having all of this stress and pressure. Men, I think, are about to break too. Yeah. And you're seeing it in this young generation that is really struggling with their mental health.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I would say in relationship to Brock trying to do that, it comes down to confidence. You know, you have to be willing to put yourself out there. And as Steph was saying, in relationship to society tonight, with being online so much, you know, COVID, causing everybody to stay sheltered in, and it made everybody not want to go back out. And so, you know, the traditional old schooling of meeting people in public isn't there, so you're kind of resorting to dating apps, etc. Yeah. We actually met on a dating app, you know, and the reason that I think ours was so successful outside of what a wonderful person that she is, and how attracted I was to her immediately by her profile. And it wasn't just her looks, it was what she had to say, and her intellect was on that. But within that, you have to show your confidence inside that. You have to look for key ways that she is expressing to you what she wants. You know, in our situation, she immediately let me know what it was that she was seeking in somebody who was pursuing her. And so I paid attention, and I confidently, got off the app immediately with her. It was to show her, yes, I'm truly interested in you. You're the person that has drawn my interest, and I want to get to know you. So I was confident in that way. I communicated with her. I immediately, wanted to get her number. We had a couple of FaceTime
He
talks.
asked me out very quickly, got me off the app. I think a woman wants to feel safe, Brock. So no matter the age, even if they're 25, men think they have to come in with all this swagger. You don't. A woman is less impressed with your car and you buying her pasta and lobster for dinner and is more impressed with how do you make her feel when you're with her. Do you ask her questions about herself? Do you hype her? Do you focus on her and give her your attention when you're talking to her? Or are you looking around at other women? Are you on your phone? Are you making her feel safe to open up to you?
Yeah, are you providing opportunities for her to see that you are into her? Do you care about her? And what I mean by that is, are you pulling a chair out for her? Are you going around and opening a car door for her? We've been together for a while now and getting married. I will never stop doing that for her. I will always be continuously dating her. I will always be courting her.
Pursuing me.
And pursuing her, because it should never stop. Because of literally the obsession that I have over her, healthy obsession, but it's because I care so much. Because of my feelings for you, I want to do those things. But so a woman that you are truly interested in, you should much. Because of my feelings for you, I want to do those things. But so a woman that you are truly interested in, intimately on a daily basis, if he's not wanting to hold your hand, if you notice here where my hand is, where my arms are, I'm continuously, if we're in a car, we're holding hands. If we're in a restaurant, we sit next to each other.
Right.
It's a continuous desire to be near her and to touch her, and vice versa. She's the same way.
Right. Okay, I love the conversation that is going on here. You know what? I think it's funny.
What?
All of the trolls on here, I feel like, why are these men on here?
Because
go home and read a book.
It's kind of our purpose and point.
Call your therapist. Okay. Somebody asked a question about when is the earliest time to introduce your kids to your partner.
Ooh,
and I feel
question.
like we can answer this because, okay, so it says, I'm so sorry that I'm not listing the person that asked this question. So I am so sorry. Kelsey, how long should I wait for my boyfriend to meet my 2 small kids? So I guess the question would be, how long have you all been dating? And how do you feel about it? Because when it comes to little kids, shoot, there are so many factors that you have to take into consideration. I don't know how to get out of here. Okay. Sorry. Okay, there.
There you go.
You have to go with your gut and your intuition. For us, our intuition has led the relationship from the very beginning. And we talk about our intuition with each other. It's usually always the same.
Right. We're always communicating about it. I think that's the key. You both should have a discussion about it. It shouldn't be one person or the other making the decision on when do we introduce the kids. You should both communicate, express your true feelings about it. Don't just give in to the other person and say, because one person is like, yes, I'm ready, and the other one's like, no, I'm not. Communicate.
Be true to who you are and what you want.
Explain why, and then come to some type of compromise on what is truly best. And I think you'll feel it. We both felt it. We knew that the importance of staying the course. But the key word that we utilize all the time is leading with love.
Lead with love.
So we always put that first and foremost. And so we put our kids' feelings in front too. We're always thinking about them. How is it going to affect them? How can we best introduce them to things in a way that comes from the heart and comes from a loving place.
Right.
So there is no specific time frame that we can give you. It's what's right for the two of you and for your children in that situation.
Right.
Based on your feelings.
Yes, exactly.
But lead with love.
Lead with love, and I would say that it has to feel really good in your body to do it. And I'm going to be honest, I have 4 kids, and when we met, I knew right away that he was going to be in my life and that he was somebody that I had been waiting for a very long time. It felt really good. And so my intuition was like, you need to introduce him to the kids because you're going to move on this. You know he's your person. There's no point in waiting. They need to get used to him. And he's an amazing influence in their life. He loves them. He supports them. And so we moved quickly in introducing the kids. And it doesn't mean it's been easy. It hasn't. But it's paid off. And they have taken to him. They love him. And they're really excited about the upcoming wedding and him being in our family permanently. And I think before him, I dated a really toxic guy that didn't take care of my heart. And we waited to introduce him to the kids. And in fact, the 2 times that my kids met him, it was very quick. I didn't want to expose them much to him. And it was something that I almost just felt forced to do because I had been with him for a year. But my body was telling me, don't do it. My intuition was telling me, don't do it. And I didn't listen. So that is always going to be your compass and your guide when you're dealing with your kids. And you as a mama bear know what is best for your children more than anybody else.
Right. And your children themselves are looking to you to see what you're creating for them. They want a stabilized situation. They want to know that this individual that you're bringing into their lives is a good person, someone that isn't just going to be popping in and out, someone who is going to be there for the long term. So I would suggest that too. Evaluate your relationship. Where are you at in your relationship? Is this something that you're looking at, this is going to be your future husband or your future wife? Or is this someone that you're just dating? Is this someone that you don't see it necessarily a long-term future with? And do you really want to put that into your children's lives at the time, because the stability is important for them too, and their feelings are important. So be thoughtful in your process.
Absolutely. So we were just talking about when we first came on. Well, Money May says, wife keeps bringing things up that I did in the past. How do you move on and show that I'm not bad? Do you want to answer that?
Yeah, I think key things with that, we all make mistakes in life, right? Within our relationship, we're not perfect. You're going to have troubling times. You're going to have things that come up and such. The best thing is continue to communicate. I don't know what your specific thing is that she continuously brings up. I don't know at what level it was, how bad it was, but obviously it's something that is still bothering her. So find ways to reassure her. If it's something that if it was a trust issue, if it was no matter what it may be, then you need to realize you made a mistake. You need to own your mistake and fix it, and if it's something that you've already done that, be patient with her. Be understanding that she just needs to continue to heal from that. And it may be a longer process than you're wanting or needing, but you still have to stay the course. But communicate it, talk to her, find out why is it still about, why does she need to still be bringing that up to you? What is it that you haven't proven to her yet that she is looking for? What does she truly want from you? Yes. And then you can evaluate it from there. But I think you have to grow, you have to own things. In our relationship, anytime that I've made a mistake or haven't been my true authentic self in it, I own it, and I'm willing to grow because she's so important to me that no matter what it may be, it's fixable, and I know that her emotions related on it, I'm not going to push those emotions aside. I'm going to hold those emotions, I'm going to recognize those emotions, and we're going to work through it together.
Yeah, and I think to go back to your original point of what you've noticed on your page, which is that his page, the Daddy University here on TikTok, he basically caters to men's healing. He has a lot of women that follow him, but lately he's been feeling a lot of men. He's been seeing a lot of men joining the conversation. And your point was that women are just done with men.
Yeah, women are done. They're done with the baseline behavior. And so, I don't know if that's what you're experiencing right now from the woman in your life, but they're tired of the traditional ways of a man and woman's relationship.
Yeah.
They're ready to evolve. They are evolving. They are becoming stronger. And if you don't get on board, the train takes off without you.
Yeah.
And, so you either get on board and try to heal yourself and heal your relationship, or you have to move on from it.
Yeah, and I was going to say that basically because women are done, now it's really about, for a man, his currency with a woman is he willing to evolve? Is he willing to look at himself and be self-aware? Is he willing to change for her? And that is the currency for a man now. It is self-awareness and self-introspection. And tearing down women and tearing down your woman so that she tolerates you is just not going to work anymore.
Thank you, Silky.
Yeah, it's just not going to work anymore. And basically, men have to rise to the level of meeting their woman where she's at, growing with her, evolving, and that takes self-awareness. And so many men out here would rather attack women, go on lives and try to tear down a woman than look at themselves and be introspective. Right. And so I think, to answer his question about his wife who keeps up bringing the past, as long as you can show her that you are dedicated to improving and evolving, that for many women is enough. You don't have to be the man. You don't have to take her out on fancy dates and be making $1 million a month, okay? You just basically have to be willing to look at yourself and improve. Why is that so hard, do you think?
Well, I think it goes back to what I talked about earlier is failure, right? You're scared of showing weakness and showing that you failed at something, that you can't be successful in it. So you run from it, you hide from it and such. And emotions are the same way for men. Men are supposed to be strong. They're supposed to be this power source, right? They're supposed to lead their family in all ways and all manners. But you can lead men by being authentic. You can lead by being emotional. In our relationship, she appreciates and loves me more when I become emotional and be authentic about myself. When I can dive deep into what my past traumas are and what's creating those and things that have affected me, and we communicate and talk about that, she embraces me on that. She loves it. She appreciates that I'm my 100% self and always with her. And that's what you got to be. You have to show up and show your full self to the women. You have to be there for them, and they will, in turn, they will turn to you. They will love you more. They will accept you more, and they only want you for you. That's why they're with you to begin with. They were attracted to you and what you brought to the table, not your wealth, as you said, not anything, not your car, not the picture of you without your shirt on your dating profile. It wasn't that. Sorry to tell you, that's not what's getting women to stay.
No, and I think too, a lot of men out here are so worried about evolving and showing vulnerability because that would make them have to face their deepest wounds and shadows. And for a man, I just feel like there's so much innate shame being a masculine. There's a lot of shame. And men will run from it, even if it means that they burn down a long-term relationship, they leave the girl of their dreams, they are alone, rather than face their shadows and their wounds and that shame. And for women, that's just so daunting. And women don't understand that because women are more whole and complete emotionally, I think, than men, because we have emotional, solid relationships with our female friends. So we've learned how to connect emotionally. But what men don't understand is if they did lean on their woman and they were authentic and vulnerable, they would have the most amazing source of strength to go through that and to look at their shadows and to heal. They would have an amazing powerhouse of strength and love. And men will run from that all day, and they'd rather be alone than take that gift that a woman gives to them.
Yeah, it's actually shocking to me. I really don't understand it. I realize that a lot of it comes with maturity, and I realize a lot of it is scaredness to actually evaluate yourself and determine that maybe I haven't done everything that I wanted to do in my life and stuff, and so I'm not willing to face it. But when you have a wonderful, amazing woman in your life that is going to be there, and like you were just talking about, that's going to be this great resource and help in your best, like I always like to say, you know, my biggest fan, right? Like I'm her biggest fan and she's my biggest fan. And why would you not want that in your life? Why would you not want a supporting role for someone to take care of you and to be there for you and hype you up and to make you feel special all the time? Like, why would you not be willing to do the work for that? It's amazing. Like I can't explain how great it is to have found my soulmate and to found the woman that I get to spend the rest of my life with, because I was willing to do the work and look inside of myself. You know, I no longer have to stay at a baseline level and downgrade instead of leveling up. I way leveled up because I was willing not to accept things at my own level as well, and not accept my own behaviors and not willing to change from them.
Yeah. Yeah, and do you feel like, speak to the men that are avoiding this change, that are avoiding self-awareness because they're scared. Speak to them about that fear, or speak to them about what that process was like, having to face your shadows and your coping mechanisms that, you know, we have dealt with in our relationship, because a relationship will mirror and put a spotlight on the places that you need to grow and your shadow. How was it as a man working through that? Was it excruciating and scary?
Yeah, like
You're like, yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't. Like I would say you're going to have moments for sure, right? You know, like I talk about how coming out of a long-term marriage, right? My very first thing coming out of a long-term marriage, and it sounds horrible, is I'm free. Now I can go date a bunch of women and go hook up with a bunch of women. And what I first found out when I first started dating women is, oh, wait a minute, like that's not what I want to do. That's not what I need in my life. Actually, I need more than that. I need a person that's going to be there. I need someone that's going to support me, that's going to love me, that's going to be there for me emotionally, that's going to accept me for me and communicate, and someone to share every special little moment with, not just hookups. You know, so I think men need to really look deep and realize that they're selling themselves short, you know, by not doing the work, by not being ready to have an amazing relationship in their life. So yeah, to answer your question, when I first came out of it, yeah, it was a little difficult, but I had to get comfortable with being alone. You know, I had to get comfortable with being by myself. And so, you know, I found mechanisms for that. I found ways to, you know, meditate. I would, you know, as you know,
go play basketball alone.
Yeah, I play basketball all the time. You know, I would go to the beach. You know, both of our happy places are the beach, and we both grew a lot individually from the beach. But I'd be happy with I had to get out of the house. You know, I had to find avenues to just spend time with myself and evaluate what was it in my past relationships that I could have done better, you know, and accepted responsibility. And those obviously weren't the relationships I should be in, because this is truly my person. And so I'm so happy those didn't work out, but you still have to look inside and say, hey, I could have been better in that. So how am I going to show up and be better for my future person? How am I going to show up and be able to have my soulmate and her be accepting of me because I've done my work? If I had shown up in my not healed level and been there and shown her a different side of me, or been afraid of being authentic, or been afraid of dealing with traumas, then I wouldn't have been ready for her, and she wouldn't have been ready for me.
That is so true. So what do you think the top 5 or top 3 ways that a man can face himself, that a man can grow and evolve? What are the top 5 things that he needs to do if he's alone, if he's in a relationship that's struggling and he doesn't quite know how to save it, how to hold on to it? What are the top 5 steps?
We'll try to evaluate if I have 5 of them.
Okay, 3.
All right.
Top 3. Maybe there's only 3, gentlemen.
Maybe there's 20.
Maybe there's only 3. What if there were only 3 steps, gentlemen, that you need to take to level up and
first one,
score a woman
first one
that makes you happy.
First one is get real. You have to get real with yourself.
Get real.
Look
okay.
in the mirror, because I use this analogy a lot, and I coached high school sports for many years and stuff, and so I'm a motivator, and so I utilize certain things when talking about how to motivate and get yourself to believe in yourself. But one thing related to that is I would use a mirror analogy, and the mirror is go stand in front of the mirror, because the mirror is the one place that you can look into, because you see the reflection of yourself and you can't lie to it, right? Because that person looking back at you knows the truth. So you have to look deep at yourself and be okay with the truth. You know, you have to understand that it's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to have failed at things. It's okay to be happy with who you are, and make that understanding and own it to the fullest degree. So that would be my number one. Get real with who you are.
Okay, number one, look in the mirror and get real with yourself.
Get real with yourself.
Okay. Number two.
Number two is evaluate what you truly want in a relationship. You know, like I said in the beginning, just a few minutes ago, when I first started dating again, I thought I wanted one thing, but what I really wanted was this, right? This authentic type of relationship. So look at it, you know, write it down, think it out. Don't go into dating blindly. I like to say you should be going into dating purposefully, right? You should have purpose behind what you're doing. You should have, what is your goal out of that relationship, you know? And if it is to just to hook up with people or stuff, but at least be real with that.
This is what I was going to ask you. What if you're just a dude out here and you just want to hook up?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
There isn't. Get it out of your system.
Yeah, but I actually like that. But be, like I said with the beginning one, be real.
Don't go on Hinge and be like, I'm looking for my soulmate, if all you really want to do is just hook up.
Don't hang women out to dry.
No.
Like, there's no reason to, so this is a term that I use all the time. Don't make them a placeholder. A placeholder woman is a woman that a man will have in his life, and he'll treat her like a girlfriend at times, but he's not authentically in that relationship. He is using her as a placeholder until he finds the next best thing to him. So he'll date her. He more is utilizing her for sex. You know, he's getting his personal needs met through that relationship, but he is also stringing her along to make her believe that there is a future with them. But he'll do things like be avoidant. He will be nonchalant. He will
like other women's Instagram.
He won't post pictures of you on his Instagram.
He posts 0 pictures of you on his Instagram. Meanwhile, you're up here posting a storm about your soulmate, and he'll repost it because he knows it's going to be on there for 12 hours and then gone. But there's no sign of him at all in your actual posts. In his actual post. Big red flag. And you're a placeholder, sis, if that's the situation.
Yeah, it's called a placeholder. It's just, you're just saving a place for the next person that he's waiting to come along. So a man who does that will continue that pattern if he's not willing to face himself and get back to, like I said, be real. And then he will never level up with somebody. He'll never be able to get and find his true person or his soulmate, because that pattern continues.
Because he doesn't even know what he wants. He doesn't even know who he is.
Right.
So he's not going to attract a soulmate. He's just going to keep jumping from placeholder to placeholder to placeholder. Right. But how many women know men like this? We all do.
I mean, I'm a guy, and I know this. And I know I have lots of friends in the past that were these kind of guys.
I've been a placeholder. Yeah. Many times I've been a placeholder.
You know, and I could say I've had relationships that were placeholders, in between my marriage and you.
I love that you admit that.
I had a placeholder.
It's like see, man, you can admit I had placeholder girlfriends. I did that. Right. I'm not proud of that. I did
not
that.
At all. And
I learned it's okay to be imperfect.
Right.
Just be real.
Be honest. Be real. But one thing I can say authentically about myself in that placeholder relationship is I was honest from the beginning. I told her right up front what I was looking for, where I saw that going, and where I didn't see it going. So I was never dishonest in what she was to me at the time. But in reality, that's exactly what she was. She was a placeholder because she wasn't meeting what I truly wanted or needed in a relationship. So it wasn't something that was going to last. And it didn't last, So you got to look at that. So
number one is be honest with yourself. This is the top 3 steps a man can take to
right.
wake up and level up. Okay.
Right.
Number 1.
That was it.
Say it again.
Be real. Get real with yourself.
Look at yourself
Look at
honestly.
Yourself. Do the mirror analogy like I utilized.
Number 2, get clear on what you want.
Yes.
And be honest about it.
Right.
Okay. In
So
your interactions with women, be honest about what you want. What's
3? We haven't touched on 3 yet.
What is 3? Do you know what it is? Do you like that I'm totally
I know you're putting me
on
the spot
I'm
to
putting
try
you in
to.
the hot seat. I'm like, give us the top 3 tips.
I would say number 3 is we've already talked about, what it is that you want in a relationship. Now,
be intentional.
Be purposeful. Yeah,
be purposeful.
You have to be purposeful.
Word. Yeah.
So when you're going out, and now that you've already looked at yourself, you already know what it is you want. Now you got to be purposeful within that relationship, and you have to show up. You have to be authentic within it. Come as who you are. It doesn't matter if you're the president of the United States or if you're the garbage man that is working in the neighborhoods, right? Value yourself. So when you show up for that day, value what it is that you do, value what it is that you bring to that relationship, and be confident within it. Don't try to be anything but who you are, because that at the end is who she wants. That's who she's going to be attracted to. She's going to be attracted to the man who shows up as who he is and not afraid of admitting to not only himself but to her what he can bring to the table. And guess what? You're going to be shocked at how
much she loves you.
Yeah, loves you
for
just
who
for
you
you.
Essentially are.
You
and
don't
you know
have to be
what?
anything.
Women can sniff it out, okay? Especially now with all of these resources that we have about love bombing and red flags. And women are talking, y'all. Women are talking. We know what to look for now.
Yes.
We are much shrewder than we've ever been before. So all the old tactics of love bombing and wearing a mask and putting on airs that are opposite of who you really are, they don't work anymore.
Right.
And they may work for a short amount of time, but she's gonna eventually sniff you out, because this is what a woman will do. This is gonna freak all you men out. A woman will just sit back and let you talk. She will let you put on a mask. She will let you love bomb her, and she will not call you out. She will observe and take notes. And as she's recognizing that you're not being authentic and you're love bombing and you're being dishonest, she is a PI. She is searching out who you are liking on Instagram. She is seeing all those fitness models, okay, that you follow. She's just not saying anything to you about it. What she's doing is making plans behind the scenes to exit. And that's why you will find women confusing, because women know they can sniff it out and they will remove themselves from situations where they don't feel safe. To go back to the original point we made at the beginning of this. Currency for a man is to make a woman feel safe. She is constantly on guard looking for ways that you are not providing safety. So just be yourself. Just be authentic and show up for who you are, because she will figure it out.
She will. And don't be scared of that. Like, don't be afraid of her emotions. Don't be afraid of her questioning you, Like, if you have nothing to hide and you have nothing to be afraid of, then why are you being that? Why are you being shady? Why are you trying to... my phone is always face up. She can have my phone any time, any moment of the day. I don't care. Go through my phone and ask me questions. If you question something related to it, my job is to ensure that she is comfortable with who I am and how I show up for her. And so it's important not to push away her emotions. Don't make her feel like they're not valued. Even if you don't agree with them, there's nothing wrong with you providing her with safety and protection within that, because all that's going to give to her is the reassurance that you're there, that you're not going anywhere, that you're the man that you say you are, and that you're going to continuously show up in every situation, no matter what it may be.
And if you can't provide safety because you can't leave your phone down and you can't block and delete all those hoes in your phone and you can't stop following fitness models, then you need to go back to step 1.
Right.
A little bit of introspection and healing is necessary for you to call in a high caliber woman. Now at this point, if you cannot have integrity and be honest, with yourself and with her, then it's okay. We've all been there. Do the self-introspection and have the courage, the warrior heart. This is what I love about him, and I tell him this all the time. You have a warrior heart because he isn't perfect. But you know what? He is radically self-aware. He's radically honest with himself because his number one priority is to create safety for me. And when there is a discrepancy, when I don't feel safe or he feels like he can't provide that safety, he is radically self-honest. And that is all a woman wants from y'all. She doesn't want you to be perfect. She doesn't care about your fancy car. She doesn't care if you take her out for pasta and lobster, okay? She wants you to be honest with yourself and thereby honest with her, period. And if you can't do that as a man, it's okay. There is help for you. Go follow the Daddy University.
Yeah, I'm here for you. I'm here to help you along your journey that I've done so much work for and such. But
if you don't want to follow him, pick up a book.
Yeah.
Listen to a podcast. There is so many free resources.
Join a men's group, right?
Join a men's group.
Right. Talk to your buddies, find outlets, find ways to look at ways to improve, look at ways to reevaluate yourself, but look at yourself, look deep, and realize she's worth it. She's so worth the effort. I own everything. I'm not afraid of my own emotions and my own weaknesses within that, right? Because they're actually strengths. When you actually face your problems and when you realize, I probably shouldn't have done that. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I shouldn't have acted that way. Maybe I shouldn't feel the way I do. Guess what? I was wrong, and I can recognize that. But I'm committed to growing because of the importance of our relationship. And she's the same way, But we communicate. We grow together. I'm not just out here by myself. When you have a woman that stands by you because you're being authentic, guess what? You're not alone. She is right there with you. She's right there to help you. She's right there to support you and tell you, hey, we're going to grow together and we're only going to become stronger because of it.
And every man, you tell me all the time, every man wants this. Every man wants this, but the price to have this is self-awareness and honesty.
Right.
And so many men are so scared of themselves. They are scared of their shadows. They are scared to live life without their coping mechanisms. And there's so many resources out there though, right? Like, this is the most hopeful time to be a man. There are so many resources out there to help you to rise to the level of what women now want and need. And honestly, it's not just going to bag you an amazing feminine. It's going to what? I mean, you always say that you feel so free.
Yeah. So the one thing that I think I have found in this relationship of ours, and a woman who truly sees me for who I am because I'm authentic, has freed me. It's given me a calming sensation. It's allowed me to authentically be me in every aspect of our relationship. I don't worry about having to show up in any other way than who I am for her. And because of that, I get to be relaxed. I get to feel my safety within her, even though I'm a provider, protector, German Shepherd kind of man, which I very much am. I'm very territorial, and I'm here to guide and protect her in all the ways. But guess what? She's my biggest safety as well. I lean on her. I look to her for that. But it's because of what I've done to show her that I'm willing to always show up and always continuous to grow individually, but also together.
Yeah, and it's such a beautiful give and take, because as I provide that loving, tender place to lay his head at night and to call home and to just release from all the stresses of being outside and providing and protecting, which every man freaking wants. I don't care what they say, they all want it. And with a good, high quality woman, you will have that. It's like this safety and freedom to just be yourself. My phone's gonna die. But we're at the hour mark, so we have to go. But in addition to me providing that safe place for him to land, he provides safety for me. And if you are a man, how you provide safety is honesty, integrity, actions match words, handling her emotions, not employing Darvo and trying to like stonewall and blame shift when she's bringing something to your attention, but honoring her emotions and listening to her and validating her. That has nothing to do with your paycheck.
Has nothing to do with
that.
That
has nothing to do with the car that you drive. It has everything to do with just simple gestures of honesty and kindness. And if you give that to a woman, that is safety for a woman. That is consistency for a woman. She will give you the world.
Literally the world. I mean...
You have the keys to the kingdom, gentlemen. The keys to the kingdom. Don't fight it. It's like, why fight it?
Why do you want to fight it? Like,
why do you want to fight it? Just, you want it.
Yeah.
So let's level the F up.
All right. The thing is you are a strong woman. You are a powerful woman. You don't need me. And I think what men don't realize, the woman doesn't need you. There is 100 guys in her DMs every day trying to get at her. There's 100 guys that when she walks down the street that are trying to look her down, that are trying to, get her attention and such. So you need to step up. You need to be there. You need to be, providing to her that safety and attention that she deserves, because she truly can get that from 100 guys that are waiting behind you. So understand that, value your woman, and be there for her. Show up daily for her, encourage her, support her, love her. And guess what? I have a very strong, independent woman who's smart, intelligent, creative, but she will be submissive and let me lead all the time because she trusts in me, because she loves me, and she knows that I'm there to provide her with nothing but protection and safety in our relationship.
I will happily submit, which means I allow him to serve me. I allow him to take care of things. I allow him to make decisions that I don't want to be bothered with. If that's submission, yes, please, I will take it for the rest of my life, because you know what it gives to me? I can totally rest. I can totally stop worrying and hustling and grinding and being in my masculine. I can just rest in my feminine. And therefore, when he comes home from being outside and he's stressed the F out because of work and because of bills and because of finances and all the things, I can just love on him, rest my head on him, give him affection, give him the things that men will do anything for and wile and philander to get. He gets it all the time whenever he wants, because he creates a safe place for me to re-energize and to love on him when he gets home. So if that's submission, yes, please, I'll take it, because it is a win-win situation for both of us.
Yeah, very much so. Like I that's what all men want. All men want a nurturing woman who's going to be there and just love them and just show up for them in those ways. She makes me feel like I'm the most important person throughout my day. She makes me feel like I'm the most important person, and she's excited to see me the second I walk in the door. And that's all I can ask for, So it makes me want to do things for her. It makes me want to be that man that provides for her and shows that safety and protection, and ultimately just brings us so much closer together. But if I didn't do those things and I wasn't showing up authentically and I wasn't providing from those things to her, she wouldn't show up in her way either. And therefore this relationship wouldn't work.
Yeah.
And so it's a combined effort, but it's such a beautiful union when you're both are healed and continue to heal together.
Yeah. And you know what? I hate to draw attention to some of the people in here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Michael. You guys seem real cool. Thank you so much.
Appreciate that.
You know what? And so many women are so supportive. Like a fairy tale relationship. You guys are so cute together. Do you see that women are so supportive for the most part? And a lot of the men that have joined our live tonight have been really angry and really aggressive and really toxic. And you know what that tells me? they're confused and unhappy and they're frustrated. And so instead of like listening and internalizing what we're talking about, and other thought leaders on this app or other resources, they attack.
Right. They're deflecting.
They're
deflecting
the
situation.
Though?
Well,
because women can be struggling,
mm-hmm.
and women can be feeling bad about themselves, and women can be passive aggressive. But I want to say that most of the women on this live tonight have been so supportive and so kind and so sweet. So why is it that men do this? Why do men get nasty and deflect and try to tear women down and call you a simp for expressing how to grow as a man in your masculinity? Like, that's what you're talking about here.
Exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, it
takes a brave ass man to do shadow work. It takes a brave ass man to own his emotions and show up for his woman with honesty and integrity. Because you know what? A man like this is rare. There are so many Dusties out there that just are dishonest and cheat and wile and use women as placeholders. Tale as old as time. It's stale and boring. But to have a man that owns his emotions, feels them, can show up in them, and be a strong provider, protector for a feminine, that is the keys to that is the kingdom. That is heaven on earth for him and a woman. So why do men resist and fight against what they could have?
Because they don't want to hear a guy be honest with things, right? They don't want to hear me telling the truth and telling what is really inside their heads and what they're really thinking about, and they don't want to have to change from that, right? Because we talked earlier, you know, at leaders, and men have been the leaders in the world, right? And now
they've had all the power.
They've had all the power, and it's the same thing in a relationship. They're scared of losing that power. They're scared of a woman being equal to them. They're scared of allowing her to be more successful than them, because they look at themselves as, then society is going to look at me as being weak or not a success. I'm a failure. My wife makes more money than me. She has more successes. She has more personality than I do. You know, no matter what it may be, you know, for me, I have always told you that I will do nothing but hype you to people. I will do nothing but support you. I want you to be successful. I hope you're more successful than I am, you know. But in our relationship, we're successful together. Anything that you do is a success for me too. And I think men need to understand that, you know, be there for her, enjoy her success, stand beside her and guide her through it. Because guess what? Her success is your success as your success is her success, right? And so why put her down for that? Why not celebrate her, not be there for her? Because if you're not, she's going to do it anyways, and she's going to level the fuck up.
Without you.
And, yeah, I said it. And you're going to be standing behind, and you're going to be sitting in a house alone, because she's willing to do the things.
And so many of these men are alone. I think that's what I'm talking about. I quoted a statistic, a sociological statistic that was released earlier this week that said 40% of men in their 20s are single, alone, and have no physical touch, and they're not intimate with anybody. That's a sad statistic.
Well, and tell me, how is that something you want as a man, right? Because you're scared of a woman's emotions, so you would rather be alone, you would rather not be intimate, you would rather not have a divine, loving union as we have. You know, I mean, yeah, it takes work. Yes, it takes effort, but every relationship takes that. Not just love relationships, friend relationships, family relationships. Everything takes effort. So why not put effort into the most important thing in your life? That's your person. That's a person that you want to be with, spend the rest of your life with, the person you want to be intimate with, right? So put effort into it, guys. Make it happen. You know, evaluate yourself, show up for her, and she's going to do it right back to you. You know, I get this value of women. I'll take the prize all day long for all you guys that are being the trolls in here. You can say the things you want to say. You want to be negative. You want to say inappropriate things. It's fine, because you're staying in a pattern of being left behind. You're not going anywhere. You're not going to get this. You're not going to have this woman sitting next to you and have a prize like all these other women that are out there that are leveling up above you. Face it and own it and get it. Go get the prize. Go make it happen.
Men are leveling up too. As we started our live tonight, we are talking about how he's seen more and more men come into his page and comment and interact and follow him more so than he ever has. It's been mainly women. But more and more men want to learn about how to heal. They want to learn about how to face their emotions and how to be honest with a woman and how to have integrity and how to keep their relationships together, how to create that safety for a woman. And so there are a lot of men doing it, hopefully, amazingly for the women in here. Like, we want to share with you the good news tonight that men do want to do the work and men do want to level up to meet us where we are at. Feminines, okay? And so what I would say is get really good feminines at weeding out men that refuse to do the work, men that are stuck in old patterns, as he talks about, because the sooner you weed it out, block and delete them, the quicker you can see the cream rise to the top. And this is quite literally what you get when you say no to what you will not tolerate anymore and what is not for you. Because then you start to call in the high value men that actually want to do the work, that actually are courageous and have a warrior heart, that can face their emotions, that can handle yours, and that can create safety and honesty within a relationship with a woman. And you have to weed it out to call it in, to call in the good.
Yeah, you totally have to listen. That's a key for guys as well. Listen to what it is that women are saying today. Listen to what they want in a relationship. Listen to what it is that they are not accepting anymore in a relationship, right? And evolve. It's that simple.
You can evolve.
Yeah, as you see through history, different events, people evolve. Religions revolve. Cultures evolve. Guess what? Women are evolving too. And you have to get on board with it or you're going to be left behind in that process. And personally, I would much rather not be alone in my lifetime and share my final years sitting on a dock by myself fishing, because that's the only friend I have is the fish in the pond, or be with a beautiful woman who loves me and cares about me and is going to be there for me every minute of my day. That's what I want. And I know that every man that's out there, whether he's being honest or not.
Straight man.
Every straight man. Yeah, and if you're not a straight man, it's okay. Finding your person.
Get after
and
it.
Go get it. Find your person. Find the love of your life. But even a non-straight man still has to do his work to show up in that relationship too. Doesn't matter, man, woman. You both have to show up authentically as who you are.
Amen. I think we can totally conclude on that message, because that is the message of 2024 and going forward from a man's mouth. So thank you so much to everybody who's joined. For the women, for the feminines that have joined us, thank you so much for supporting us, for commenting. We appreciate it so much. And you know what? If you're in a great relationship, which we've met a lot of women tonight that are in long-term great relationships, I'm so happy for you. And if you're out there looking, or you're in a relationship that is less than that and you're striving to get that, it is possible. Men are out there that want to evolve. Men are out there that have warrior hearts that can face their emotions and want to hold yours, not shame you for them. It is there, and hopefully you felt that tonight. Do you have any messages for the men, for the men and the women? I mean, I think you just talked to the men.
I tried to illustrate it to it, but
you concluded our message so well.
Yeah, I think, thank you all for joining us tonight. I hope that we were able to shed some light on some things, maybe from a different perspective, from a male's perspective on men. But at the end of the day, our key wording again is lead with love. In all things you do, lead with love in your relationships, and you will find a happy path ahead of you.
Yeah, so and thank you for sharing the live. And I think just to expound on that a little bit, when you say lead with love, it's lead with love for the people in your life, but for yourself first and foremost. That's where the healing starts. And if you're a man, if you're a masculine or a feminine, and you want divine union and you want to call in this type of soulmate level relationship, it all starts with self-love. It all starts with self-awareness and introspection. And from that, you call in somebody else that is doing the same. And it's the most divine, amazing relationship and love of your life.
So true.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Good night.